Friday. This week we have been talking about rainy days. Those kinds of days when it's just damp and wet outside, when it's gray and you're just kind of feeling yucky even in your spirit because it's just such a dreary day. And sometimes you just need a bright spot, that one little thing that can give you that little bit of cheer that you need. And as I took time to think about all of the stories I had read in the Bible, about stories I had heard through other people's eyes, the first name that really settled into my mind was Noah. And I know we've all heard the story about how he built the ark, but I don't know if some people know the details about exactly how long that he was in the ark and how long it took for those rainy days to go from beginning to end and coming out to see the sunshine. So I wanted to start today in Genesis 7, and it says, "When Noah was 600 years old, on the 17th day of the second month, all the underground waters erupted from the earth, and the rain fell in mighty torrents from the sky. The rain continued to fall for 40 days and 40 nights. A lot of us know this part, and I don't know about you, but after about a week of rain nonstop, I'm ready to see some sunshine. And I just can't imagine having 40 straight days and 40 nights of rain, being cooped up inside of an ark with animals and close family, not being able to see the outside, not being able to have fresh air and, to see the sun, even with that lingering hope that you know that you've done all that God has called you to do, and you're trusting and believing in Him that you will make it through." And so we're going to jump down to Genesis 8, and it starts with, "But God remembered Noah and all the wild animals and livestock with him in the boat. He sent a wind to blow across the earth, and the flood waters began to recede. The underground waters stopped flowing, and the torrential rains from the sky were stopped." Hallelujah. "So the flood waters gradually receded from the earth. After 150 days, exactly 5 months from the time the flood began. Then the boat came to rest on the mountains of Ararat. 2.5 months later, the waters continued to go down, and other mountain peaks began to be visible." And then we jump down to verse 33, which says, "Noah was now 601 years old. On the first day of the new year, 10.5 months after the flood began, the flood waters had almost dried up from the earth. Noah lifted back the covering of the boat and saw the surface of the ground was drying. 2 more months went by, and at last the earth was dry. And God said to Noah, 'Leave the boat, all of you, you and your wife, and your sons and their wives. Release all the animals, the birds, the livestock, and the small animals that scurry along the ground, so they can be fruitful and multiply throughout the earth.'" Now imagine that. 10.5 months plus another month or so. So almost a full year that they had been cooped up, that they had not been able to see the sunshine, that they had only been able to have the fellowship of their family, to take care of the animals, and all the while they had this little ember of hope inside of them. They had to trust in their faith. They had to call on God to get them through. And that's a wonderful lesson for us as we go through our darkest days, as we go through our dark, yucky, gray days, when we just want a little ember of hope, of sunshine. And it's really to turn to God and to always be trusting and truthful to what He has called us to, but also to be faithful that He is working in the time, and that even when we don't know what His timetable is, that we can believe in Him, that He will keep His promises, that He will be faithful, and that all that we do for Him and showing our love and trusting in Him and being faithful to Him as He has been to us, that it will be fruitful, that we will have the desires of our hearts, and that not only can we help ourselves, but we can help others when we do what He has called us to do. and really just find our hope for each new day in Him. So I hope you have a wonderful weekend, and I'll talk to you soon.